I'm slightly scared recording this video because I don't really think it will land well, but at the moment I'm listening a little bit about NHS and generally about UK politics, and have been doing that on and off for a long period of time, but we seem to be having doctors on a strike, and I know there are some pay rise issues, doctors, nurses. I do work with some doctors and nurses myself. I'm lucky enough to get to train them and experience some things firsthand, but this is not where I want to take this video. Now, I'm in UK, and I hope you're in UK if you're watching. And generally, NHS is kind of fucked up. It's very long waiting times, it's understaffed, all the staff is overworked, the shifts are very long, and there is many issues in between that. Now, I know people want to blame government, they want to blame doctors, they want to blame everyone else but themselves. And the reason why I don't think this video will land very well, because I think that we are to blame. And it would be easy for me to shift that responsibility, saying that I don't own the situation or anything, but I kind of feel like I do, because I have been in UK for 11 years and I love this country. But what I don't like is the things that people built up, seeing them going to shit. Because your parents, your grandparents have been working quite hard for that. My grandparents has been working very hard, and my mom has been working quite hard to get independence in Lithuania. So they've been working on different things. But in UK, your parents and your grandparents has been working extremely hard to get things like NHS and National Health Service so everyone can have access to healthcare. But I think we as people fucked it up. And let me explain that, because it's not that we just kind of fucked it up like that. I think that we fucked it up as time gone by. We took it for granted. Now, we think that we have NHS to help with all the problems that we have. And you may be thinking at this point, where the hell are you going with this? So I think we really messed up as people by simply not taking care of our health. And thinking about fitness and weight is one of the kind of easiest ways to go for me, because by looking at statistics, I can see that 60% of UK population is overweight. Like over 30% of population is obese, and as far as I remember, 28% is overweight. I might be quite wrong with the numbers, but the fact that over 50% of UK population is overweight. Now, there is plenty of research and there's plenty of evidence that being overweight is not good for your health. It leads to more chronic disease, it leads to more joint problems, it leads to more psychological problems, and anything in between. Basically, any part or any condition that you would put under the microscope, being overweight will contribute to it. Maybe not all of them, but most of the top 5 that you see what keeps NHS busy. So cancer, diabetes, heart disease, all these kind of things. I've been unlucky enough to be redeployed to a hospital. I was working in a private hospital because Nuffield Health started redeploying their staff, and I just wanted to help out when the world was kind of in isolation from COVID. I just didn't want it to sit at home and collect furlough. But what I've seen is a lot of people getting knee replacements, hip replacements. That also comes down from maybe being overweight, maybe not taking care of your muscles, ligaments, and tendons. There's a lot of things that go into that. But what I'm trying to say, that taking care of your health comes in actually eating properly and exercising properly, and also sleeping well, while maintaining good social relationships. So if we think about it, pretty much like those four things are quite fundamental to our life and our existence. But we took it for granted. We somehow think that we get overweight for absolutely no reason. And the overweight that I'm talking about, it's not me where I'm having too much muscle mass. I'm class 1 obese by BMI, but I have a lot more muscle mass than any normal person who would be considered overweight or obese. Now, there is an athletic population which also contributes to that, but let's be real, like the athletic population is best case scenario 5% of the whole population of the UK. Now, what am I trying to say? That instead of trying to blame that doctors, politicians, or anyone in between that our health is shit or that we cannot get the treatment, we need to look at ourselves. And we need to look at ourselves not as an individual, but as a population as a whole. And to give you an idea what I mean by population, growing up in Eastern Europe is a bit interesting. I received a computer in 2005. Then I got internet. And this whole year from 2005 to 2006, I just ended up playing RuneScape. I would come back from school and I would play RuneScape until my mom would kick my ass to go to sleep. Same over the weekend. I basically wouldn't move. I stopped all the sports. I gained 22 kilos. And the following year, I was being called meatball at school. Now, this didn't hurt me because it was a very good friend of mine who I used to go to kindergarten with. He was just taking the piss in a funny way. Like, he used to come to me and like meatball. But the fact is that you can consider that bullying. But at the same time, from his perspective, I will not even try to pronounce his name in English. It's Žygimantas. So it's quite tricky. But he was doing that because he seen his friend from being fairly fit and doing all the sports to them coming into school a year later, fucking being all round. And it's not bullying. It's a good social cue. Some people start noticing that you are overweight and they start telling you in many different ways. That's a good sign to start addressing those issues. And that's what he did for me. So the following year, I started playing badminton. And then I maintained the same weight, but I grew up 15 centimeters. Now, this is what I mean that we need to take responsibility as population. So if you're fairly fit, and then you have some mates who start putting weight on, I feel like it's your duty to highlight that to them. And I know sometimes you can upset friends and you can lose friends because of that, but I think as long as it comes down, like as long as it comes from the good heart, they will take it in. Because there is many ways to say the same thing and try to communicate that. And I think I gave a good pathway. Like, think about it. You can just approach saying, look, John, you seem to be putting on weight. Now, look, we are friends. I've seen you within the last year. You used to be in a better health. What the hell is going on, man? Do you need some help? And it's not bullying. It's not taking the piss. It's just having a constructive conversation. And same applies in your friend circle. So you shouldn't get comfortable and you shouldn't allow your friends kind of get out of hand. So now imagine if everyone in UK in their friend circles are doing that. We probably wouldn't have 60% of population which is overweight. We would have a population which is probably a lot healthier because socially, our friends, our family, our sisters, brothers, whatever, would keep us a little bit more in check. And in that case, imagine if all of us would be a little bit healthier, we would make better choices, then the NHS wouldn't be so busy. Now, keep in mind that the whole NHS thing, we're thinking about doctors and doctor appointments. The drug prescriptions, they also cost an insane amount of money to NHS. Each appointment costs a stupid amount of money. All the missed appointments as well. It's the loss in working time because of the health conditions. Like the whole economy of the UK suffers because as a population, we are not that healthy. And if I would be in Lithuania, I would probably be speaking about the same issue. But it's hard for me to watch that as people, we just like pointing fingers at the problems, but we are not addressing the problems that we have within ourselves. We're looking for someone to blame, but we need to look in the mirror and reflect. And there is a good concept from someone called David Goggins. He's a very popular figure in US. He's like an extreme mindset resilience kind of guy, like probably as extreme as they ever get, because I haven't seen anyone crazier. But in his book, he talks about the accountability mirror. So the idea is that if you desire a massive change in your life, you go to in front of the mirror, you call it accountability mirror, and you say, okay, I fucked up, I need to change things. Then you go in front of that mirror and you stay accountable. You tell to yourself, I've started working on my health. I started eating better. I started exercising more. I started walking. I stopped watching TV as much, and maybe I bought myself an indoor bike, second-hand indoor bike for 50 quid, doesn't fucking matter. And I can only watch TV while I'm cycling. And this idea doesn't come from me. Like, all that I learned was through the books. I can't remember the book, but I remember one of the really admirable entrepreneurs. I think it was Brian Tracy, doesn't matter. Him and his roommates in college, they only used to watch TV while they're cycling a bike. And that's a phenomenal thing. You know, there's so many ways that you can achieve that, but it all starts from saying enough is enough. I need to start taking care of my health, and I need to be less of a burden to NHS. And I know it might sound controversial, it might be hard to listen, but sometimes you need to hear this message. And I hope this is me sending a message that will make and help you to make a change. Anyways, I hope that this made you think about taking a little bit more responsibility of your health. And I'll see you in the next one.